Hello, everybody, and welcome to session 33 of Changeling the Lost Second Edition, Viva Lost Vegas. Getting close to the wrap up now. Before we get into it, just a quick announcement. The Indiegogo campaign for Abyssal Sworn to the Grave is doing real well. It's got 5 days left and is well past the goal. If you're interested in chipping in and getting your own copy, there is a link in the chat. So now let's go ahead and jump into it. Today is Thursday, December 16th, 2021. What have you guys been doing over the last 3 days? Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Alrighty.
First order of business, I spent some time with the brightest minds of Autumn going over the contract. It's written in fairly plain language, apparently, as far as contracts go, but it is a huge document. I was able to help a fair bit, but at the end of the day, we just need to wait on it. I then spent some time helping out the Grimalkin weapon training by teaching them how to both make and deploy Molotov cocktails, figuring that a group of cats behind the front lines creating rows where enemies aren't able to get in is probably going to be very effective. And lastly, I got working with all of my contacts and my dear friend Kenzie in preparing to topple the bar on top of the Alexandrian casino. I've got high roller contacts to be there and witness and broadcast this. I've got friends in the entire Spring Court who are willing to assist me in setting this up. And I've got access to an army of cats to gather up a horde of rats to arrange that this is going to be a very bad night for them. So that's exciting, and we'll be working on that today.
Alrighty, who's next?
I'll go next. So, day one, I decided to talk to Kurt about Grimalkin weapons. And he said that with a few minor modifications and some training, he's pretty sure that the Grimalkins can at least be as proficient with firearms as the average human. So that is really good news. Oops. On day two, I sat in on Grimalkin war training. And the Grimalkins are uncharacteristically serious about the weapons training, and by the end of the day, they're all at least decent. Which is also great news. And then day three, I started helping Elliot make plans for the Alexandrian, which we're going to see the results of tonight.
And
Alrighty.
so day one, spent the day going over the contract that we snatched, specifically working with Agatha on it, to see what we can find out. And yeah, it's pretty plain English, but we need to work on translating it from into normal people language. Day two, spent the day with Delilah, and encouraged her to go on a winter vacation for a few weeks to see to get her some distance between us and get some distance between us and her. And lastly, did a auction. So technically I could have pushed it off for another time, but I wanted to be able to focus down on whatever the aftermath of tonight is.
Heck yeah.
But as always, the auction seems to be going pretty well.
Alrighty. Now that we've went over everyone's downtime, let's go ahead and get started. tonight is Thursday, December 16th, 2021. Where are you and what are you doing?
I am conspicuously nowhere near the Alexandrian, in an incredibly public place with my face incredibly visible. However, I am on my phone coordinating a number of other people who are assisting in arranging problems tonight.
Speaking of assisting in arranging problems tonight, I am assisting in arranging problems tonight over near the Alexandrian.
Or the problem at the Exandrian.
Alrighty. And you?
I suppose I should be keeping an eye on Kinsey, make sure they don't cause too much trouble. I mean, causing problems is fine, but arson might be a little too far.
Remember, we need to damage the bar, not the casino.
Exactly. So I'm with Kinsey.
So only two of you are actually going to be at the bar. What are you going to be doing, Elliot?
What I was hoping to do is be acting as a proxy by using my contacts and mantle to have some people there doing favors for these guys as they're making my dreams come true. How does that sound for fun?
Contacts in what regard?
I have contacts police. I have contacts high rollers. I have, of course, my status as a noble and my mantle 5 at spring. I figure somewhere in there I've got a couple of cat's paws to be assisting these guys here and there.
All right. I'm asking who were you looking for to help? Cops?
I think my high rollers are going to be at the bar to broadcast what happened, and I'm going to have some spring courtiers working there that night to help these guys get set up.
Alrighty. So you'll have a couple ends. That makes sense. Alrighty. So the bar on the roof of the Alexandrian Casino is called the Sarcophagus. It's fairly luxurious as these things go. The roof area has a scaffolding set up with lights and plastic sheeting to keep off any inclement weather. Around this area, there's a number of tables set up for customers to drink. At the far end of the roof, at the other end from the elevator and stairs, hold on.
My fetch got unemployed.
Yeah, Elliot didn't really want much to do with his fetch, so we let him just fade out and run away after his near miss with being eaten. Elliot's fetch is out there somewhere. Some say that on a moonlit night you can still hear him screaming about the quality of service at this goddamn bar. But if you do want to close the chapter on that, Elliot, you've got 2 sessions to do it in.
He might be making an appearance once I've got a place for him to be working.
Fair enough. So, on one end of the roof, you have the elevator and stairs for customers to arrive. The other end of the bar, the roof, has the actual bar, which is in sort of an L shape. Right behind the bar is a walled-off area that acts as like a kitchen where glasses and whatnot are washed, and any sort of snacks may be made to be laid out. So, Kinsey, Kit, uh, are you guys just arriving, or have you been waiting here?
Kit's been here for a little bit, kind of scoping the place out, seeing who's who's working, who's see if I can kind of establish the pecking order amongst the staff, that kind of stuff.
Kenzie has also been here for a little while, but not because she's mingling. It's more because she's been crawling through air ducts with an army of cats.
Somewhere in the Alexandrian, so people are sneezing and know not why.
So, you've been hiding in the air ducts with your strike team?
Yes, the strike team that all has rats on leashes. We've spent all day gathering them from the streets.
May I ask, do any of you have pipes of the beast collar?
Nope, can't say I do.
I do not, but that would have been really smart.
Do I have any friends in spring who do?
Well, let's settle this the quickest way I can think of. While you're not technically supposed to do anything like this, I think it makes perfect sense to roll your mantle.
Okay.
Can I assist?
No.
Okay.
I should never have told you guys about the teamwork section of the book.
Well, that's novel. Just a second. You
Are you
know,
all right?
The bot broke.
I'm going to try one more time.
Let me just give it a real quick shot. And let me roll.
Okay, I'm going to try one more time, and then if not, I'm going to ask somebody else to roll 5 dice for me. I'm going to figure out what I'm doing for the rest of the evening. Okay.
There you go.
There we go. 4 successes. We got
Alright.
there in the end.
One of the flunkies you've got helping with the operation does in fact have pipes of the beast collar.
Awesome. That is perfect, and would have been a much smarter idea for me to have arranged.
So, what for all those playing at home, what that does, as written, calling on ancient pact between the Fae and the Wild, the Changeling plays a silver flute to summon and command animals. On a roll result of success, the character sends out a call to all animals of one species, which he names when invoking the contract, within a radius equal to his animal kin dots in miles. Any in range gather around him, and he may give them simple commands, which they obey to the best of their abilities. The character must give his instructions verbally. The contract ensures the creatures, regardless of intellect, understand him, though the first wave of arrivals will pass his instructions on to animals further away. Once the animals have completed their tasks or face an insurmountable problem, they return to inform the Changeling. Hostile animals may contest this contract. On an exceptional success, the character controls the animals for a day and a night and can give them new commands whenever he speaks with them. If he mistreats them or makes impossible demands, the animals gain a new resolve plus composure roll to contest the contract.
Awesome.
Failure is just a regular fail, but dramatic failure is actually kind of funny. The contract summons one larger hostile animal like a dog or a swarm of small ones like spiders which attack the changeling. So good times if you mess up your pipe to the beast collar.
Sounds like it.
Okay, so we've established one of the flunkies here does in fact have pipes to the beast collar.
Okay. And we've got rats on site, so there will be results, regardless of how close the next nearest rat is.
Yes. So, take it away. What are you doing?
So, through a series of complex hand gestures, Kenzie motions forward Bob and his team to the left, while she and another group take the right vent, surrounding the top of the Alexandrian.
Okay, so getting ready to burst out onto the roof.
And I believe Kit's up on top, keeping an eye out for things.
No, I'm in the bar.
Ah, excellent. Well, that would be up on top.
I'm in the bar, getting the lay of the land regarding the staff. I
All right.
basically.
All right, so in that case, give me a wits plus streetwise roll, please.
Give me a sec.
No problem.
Don't forget you're wearing clothes.
I don't think that's gonna apply to this. Would it? I'm not sure.
Social.
Okay. Okay.
Excuse me.
One success.
Well, one success is a success, as we say around these parts.
8.
So, Kit observes the area and sees how things are going. So, he notices that there are 2 bouncers in suits making the rounds across the bar. These bouncers seem to be pretty much all there is in the way of security. They're currently just checking to make sure whether any patrons are being rowdy. Nobody is currently. There's also a manager. You can tell because she's wearing a outfit that is less bartender and more business person, more of a suit with a name tag. She is likewise doing rounds, but it doesn't appear to have anything to do with security. You watch for a couple of minutes and note that she stops to talk to various servers and bartenders. You can't quite hear her from this distance, but she doesn't sound particularly happy. There is about a dozen actual staff working. A few are in the kitchen. A few are acting as wait staff, bringing out drinks and snacks. And 2 are working the bar. If you would like to make a perception roll, you might be able to get some additional information.
Is it
Yeah.
safe to assume that the kitchen is enclosed, or is it an open air kitchen?
The kitchen is enclosed. I mentioned it earlier, it's behind the bar.
Okay.
By that logic, there should be a vent going in there to keep it
Ventilated?
properly ventilated, and at the right temperature for foods.
Okay. And let me double check on something that I put notes on this.
Hydrate!
Thank you, Void.
Thank you, Void.
Okay, yeah, it is it. Okay. All right. One success.
Would you like to let that stand, or would you like to use a willpower and re-roll that?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do a willpower to re-roll that. Nope, that's not.
I think that is the lowest result we've seen on your perception roll since day one. It's not your day for it. Sorry, bro.
2 successes.
The bar is noisy, so Kit isn't able to get a whole lot of information. But one thing in particular that he notes is that one of the bartenders has been loudly bragging to his partner and anyone else who will listen about a new drink that he has created. And he's very enthusiastically attempting to serve it to anyone who will take one. It's called a Road to El Dorado, and the coup de grace of this drink is that it has real gold flecks in it.
Okay.
Nice. Alright. Sounds expensive. Would be a shame if something were to happen to it.
Strange.
Okay.
All right. Are you good?
Yeah.
From the inside of a vent, Kenzie uses I don't know, her fingers or a reverse screwdriver or something, some kind of thieves tool, to take out the screws holding in the vent to the wall, and lifts up a corner, just a corner, enough for a rat to run in.
Alrighty. Which area are you going to be deploying the tactical rat?
The first tactical rat will be in the kitchen.
Alright. Considering that vent work all kind of looks the same, I am gonna need a roll for you to find the right vent. Let's make that. Let's see. Intelligence plus survival.
Okie dokie, that's going to be a fun one. One success.
It's a night for it, I guess.
It's a one success kind of night, folks.
Listen, Kenzie is very wise. She is not very intelligent.
Well, these vents are not exactly made to be used as a transport system, so it takes quite a while and a lot of navigational know-how to get to the right one. But eventually, you do find the vent. The vent is positioned such that it's under a sink. There are two sarcophagus employees here in the kitchen. One is working at the sink, washing all the cups and dishes that come in, whereas the other is on the other side of the kitchen, prepping out various snacks and appetizers.
Should I let more rats go?
I think this is the time to start the rat party. Once you've let the rats off the leashes, message me and I will inform our friend to start the party.
Okay. So, with a little quiet walkie-talkie, I'm gonna send a message to Bob that it's time, and so he can let some rats out on his end, and I can let some rats out on my end.
Alrighty. Time to deploy the tactical rats.
All the tactical rats.
Alright. So do you want the rats to just go be rats, or do you want them to do something in particular, like stay and wait for a command, etc.?
I think it would be funny to have them try to climb people, but what do you think, Jeff? What do you think?
I think the command I would give to I would have our friend giving is break things. We've got lots of glassware. We've got lots of individual things around here. There's alcohol everywhere. Loud noises and chaos will draw attention, and then people will see rats.
Very valid. What are you thinking, Tibbs?
I think I have something that I want to do once the rats are noticed, as so long as I'm able to borrow someone's manipulation.
I think Kenzie's is a lot better than mine.
I have 4.
That's 2 better than mine.
Okay. That's 3 better than mine. So.
Okay, so yeah, let's have them break things, Kenny.
Alright, so this will be dependent on the casting of Pipes of the Beast Collar. So, let's see. Roll time.
Success!
So the rats are deployed. The spring courtier on staff that Elliot has gotten to be here heads to an area of the roof where they're unlikely to be seen and pulls out a small harmonica in order to cast Pipes of the Beast Collar. Kinsey and Kit can feel the weird shifting around them as the rats get off of their leashes and go directly to that changeling, who relays the instructions to break things. So, let's see. Can I have one of you roll a chance die, please?
Yes. This is definitely my lookout today. We've got a failure.
All right. So, the rats relay the instructions to others. Some of the rats head out to begin breaking things. Other rats head down to go find more.
Beautiful.
Oops.
Oh no.
So,
Okay.
It's fine. It's all going to be easily sourced to the bar. And it'll draw the attention of the managers that much faster.
one of the rats gets up towards the bar in order to start breaking glasses, but is immediately caught by one of the bartenders. The it's time for me to roll a chance die here, actually. The bartender stuffs the rat in their pocket and goes to tell the manager.
Did
No,
anybody
Ronaldo.
did anybody see it?
Not yet.
Okay. All right, I'm
Brave-ass
still waiting.
bartender.
So, roll me another chance die, Jeff.
You got it. Tactical rat deployment, everyone. Ooh,
Oof.
natural 1. Dice do not like me today.
All right. Kit sees the bartender head up to go talk to the manager. The bartender takes the manager to the side and has a few quiet words with her. The manager whispers something into the bartender's ear, and the bartender heads back to the bar and off into the kitchen. From your vantage point, Kinsey, you're able to see the bartender come into the kitchen, but you're not able to see much of what they're doing. Not without a perception roll,
Can I roll perception?
if you would like to.
That's wits plus composure, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Unsuccess.
Hey.
Kinsey sees that the rat is being wrapped in cellophane and placed into the garbage can.
Okay. So...
Kinsey, would you like to do something about that?
Yes, I'm gonna save a few of the rats, the tactical rats that I had in reserve, out to scamper about their feet and being just normal rats. I believe they still have the order to break things passed on by other rats, but
Yep.
If you-
specifically, they're a strike team sent to rescue the other rat from the trash can.
All right, if you're going to get these rats to do anything, that's going to be an animal ken roll of some sort.
Excellent. Because I'm talking to them using my fingers and like sign language, can I use manipulation or dexterity?
Sure.
Four successes.
Alrighty. Your plan's great, folks. I'm just doing my best to add some interactivity to it. Otherwise, it's going to be me telling a story about rats.
No. We're all in. Don't worry about it.
I'm just waiting for stuff
An
to
opening?
happen. Yeah.
Okay, so the rat seemed to understand Kenzie's request, and as soon as the bartender is no longer looking and headed back to the bar, the rat strike team goes to the trash can and climbs in to rescue the rat who was thrown away. The bartender does not notice, and the kitchen staff likewise do not seem to pick up on what's going on. Can I get another chance die roll, Elliot?
Sure. Come on, come on. Ugh.
As the small swarm of rats head toward out from the trash can, the staff member working on the snacks notices. He turns around and shouts to the other one that there's rats in the kitchen.
Hey,
How
hey,
loudly does he shout?
actually, hey, person with a high perception stat. Could you see if you heard that?
Yeah, let's see if I did. Any penalties, bonuses, anything like that?
No.
5 successes, finally.
Kit very clearly hears what's been said about rats.
I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, Kit, but would you mind repeating what you've just heard at the top of your lungs?
So, yeah. So at this point, uh, Kit yells, "What do you mean there's rats in the kitchen?" And I induce bedlam.
Okay, I think this is actually the first time this mechanic has been used in this game.
So, for everyone playing at home, one of the things that we are able to do as changelings is take all those lovely emotions stewing around in the air and violently releasing them on everyone. We're allowed to give a word to it or describe an emotion we want to inflict, but we have no control past that.
Mhm.
Everyone makes saves to see if they get affected or not, and then whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. So, let's see. What would be a good? Uh, we want to go with disgust, or do we want to go with fear?
I think disgust is probably the right one for here, because
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I can use your manipulation, right, Kinsey?
So, let me read this real quick because you need to choose a condition, and I'm not sure which one you would work for this one.
Okay.
Anyone within sensory range of the changeling is overcome with the emotion the changeling channels. The person must be able to sense the changeling somehow. Even cameras or recording devices convey Bedlam's effects. The changeling chooses a single condition at the time he incites Bedlam, appropriate to the emotion he incites. Using the 4 seasonal quartz emotions as an example, these would be wanton for desire, competitive for wrath, frightened for fear, and lethargic for sorrow. Those who fail to successfully contest this power gain the condition. The target rationalizes the change of emotion as perfectly natural while it's going on, but after the effect ends, he may question why he felt that way. Supernatural creatures may very well suspect a magical cause. So disgust is absolutely valid, but you're going to need to give me a condition for it and a
would you
reasoning.
accept second, maybe? I think second is in there.
Yeah.
Or is that no, that's a tilt. Damn it.
So, let me see. I
I I think we just gotta go with frightened at this point. I don't see anything else
Yeah.
that'll fit the. We could go. I mean, the closest other one I can see is distracted, but that also doesn't feel right.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go with frightened.
Yeah, I think that might be the most appropriate because I have been checking these too, and I don't see
Because
anyone that a condition that would model disgust fairly well.
Yeah.
Although I'll try to,
flavor appropriately.
yeah.
Yeah. So, ah, one sec. Did I? Okay.
So you got 4 manipulation plus your own weird, I believe.
Mhm. 3 successes.
All right, give me a second because I've got to look at the counter roll because I know this is an opposed roll, and I
Yep.
just moved away.
It's page 110.
Versus composure plus weird. All right.
Okay,
Technically,
now.
you're supposed to roll separately for each target, but I'm not going to spend 10 minutes rolling here. So we'll just do this. Well, that's a success. And on top of that, Elliot, would you give me one more chance die roll, please?
You got it. Come on. One time today. Stuff like this makes me miss evens and odds.
Do you want to spend a willpower and roll that again?
Sure.
I can be merciful occasionally.
It's not happening.
All right. So, as Kit disperses the emotion through the crowd, he yells as loud as he can. The rats, though not especially intelligent, take this as a cue. A handful of patrons look up, including the high rollers who have been positioned throughout the bar. At the time they are looking up, a small swarm of rats escapes the kitchen. At this time, the rats who have been recruiting for the purpose make their way out from the corners of the roof as well. Being ordered to break what they can, rats are swarming over tables, knocking over glasses. The high rollers are going to broadcast this over their social media with their phones. The piece de resistance of this piece of performance art, the bartender who did not go handle things was the bartender that Kit had heard talking about his drink, the Road to El Dorado, before. As he brings out one of the drinks to serve, a rat comes jumping off of the edge of the kitchen roof and plops directly into the glass, splashing all over the customer who was to be served. By this point, as while the bedlam has done a lot of the work for you and caused customers to start running for the hills, even customers who are unaffected are leaving at this point. The manager is doing her best to shut things down, but none of the customers are interested in listening to her, and neither are the rats. It's all over in about the space of 3 minutes. Except for the staff and Kit, there's no one left but the rats, who are continuing to knock over everything they possibly can.
uh,
Elliot, if you're keeping check of social media, you're seeing this start to blow up pretty much immediately.
Every friend I have is helping spread this across the internet. Every contact I have is waiting for a weird story to come out of the Alexandrian tonight and is just hitting the reblog buttons. This is repost, sending this everywhere they can. This is going to be all over Vegas by the end of the night. I would like to make a presence plus socialize roll to help get this everywhere I can.
Sure, makes sense to me.
I want to make at least one roll to help tonight. All right.
Kenzie very carefully puts the screws back in with a magnetic screwdriver from the inside.
All right. Because the dice have not been kind to us, I am doing everything in my power to make this a good roll. And it's still not enough. Woo!
Well,
alrighty.
it's still a pretty good roll. While the story was pretty was already spreading pretty organically, a little bit of a push from someone who knows exactly how to word it helps it take off. You can see the likes and reposts on these posts going up by the moment. So, I would say this scene is accomplished. Did you have other scenes that you wanted to handle?
Yes, I would like to go see Muggins off.
Yeah, believe we were told he was going to be heading out tonight, so we should probably see him off before it gets much later. And I think at some point we also need to stop by court and see if they've figured out what's in the whatchamacallit, the contract, but I figure that's probably where we want to wrap up.
Yeah.
That makes sense, Kenny?
Sure. So you guys wanted to see Moggins first?
Yeah, let's go see Moggins.
Well, I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying there, Tibbs?
So, before Kit leaves, he passes the manager a drink that he's spiked with a splash of serenity as he walks out.
To be fair, we were never aiming at the staff. They were just collateral.
Fair enough. So, since the rest of you want to see off Moggins, leaving the Alexandrian is not exactly difficult to do at this point. Just about everyone is leaving. It's harder to get in. So, are the three of you going to meet up before heading to the Thorn Carnival?
I I believe Circus is the entry point, so why don't we just meet there?
Sounds
Works
good.
for me.
Not Circus. What was our off-brand name for that?
The Thorn Carnival.
The Thorn Carnival. We're heading to the Thorn Carnival to go to the Thorn Carnival.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's easy to find one another on the strip. Within about 10 minutes, the Motley has reoriented themselves and arrived at the Thorn Carnival. Ushered into the secret entrance, the group was able to head through the hedge gate and into the Goblin Market.
After we've gathered up together, Elliot emphatically hugs the pair of them, and he is smiling the widest anyone has seen him smile since he got out of the hedge. Now it's just a matter of paperwork and schmoozing, two things he's great at, to finally secure his long-held dream.
They had this drink that I think you should copy. Minus the rat.
I generally don't include rat in most of my drinks. Ratatouille, this is not.
You haven't had much in the way of moonshine, have you?
No, I have not.
Enough.
Uh,
Let's see an old man off, yeah?
I believe he's out with Screamer, so I believe we go looking for Screamer's nightmare van? Wagon? I forget what he's in these days.
The group finds their way to Screamer's nightmare tent pretty soon. It's not that difficult. As the group enters, Screamer looks up from mixing something and gives you all a big grin. Oh, you guys, how you been? How were those nightmares work out for you?
Wonderfully.
Did the trick perfectly.
Well, I'm glad that you got your money's worth. You have any details for your old pal Screamer?
We'll talk over beer when everything's calmed down a bit. I'm sure you've heard what's going on.
Yeah, I hear that you fellas over at the Freehold are having some difficulties with the local gentry.
Yep. But we've got a lead, and hopefully by the end of the night they'll be done reading it. Never heard of these contracts before, but apparently it's something about how he's getting all his power.
Screamer scratches his chin faintly and says, I'm not super familiar with the whole process, you see, but you don't spend as long as I have alive and dealing with the Fae without catching up a few tidbits here and there. One of the things I've heard, and I don't know how true it is that when one of the true Fae comes into being, it's by agreement.
Huh. I suppose this must be the agreement, then.
Well, if that's what it is, let me know. I'd love to see one of those things before I head off.
Well,
I mean, I'm certain I could get you some time with it.
When are you heading off?
Okay, you have something to say?
no, good.
I was planning on moving on by the around about the new year, maybe a little earlier.
It's a good time to be getting out of here, from the looks of it. Gonna be a bit noisy.
I reckon, but I was planning on leaving even before then.
Uh,
Sure, you don't want to stay and watch the world burn?
I'm kind of allergic to fire myself.
be, before you go, we're definitely gonna need to sit down and see if I can get some well, see if I can patron your services a few more times before you head out. You know, just in case down the road I need I have use of your craft.
Well, I'm never gonna say no to money. So what can I do for you guys tonight?
Well, we're actually here to see the old man. I hear he's heading off soon, and well, don't want him to go without getting a chance to say goodbye. You know.
Well, you got good timing. Uh, he's actually fixing to head off around about sunrise.
Well, then, no sense in slowing him down. Let's get back there and say hello. Thank you very much for all your help, Screamer, all the way through.
No problem. If you need anything, you know I'm always here to help. So, Screamer points you out to the back of the tent where his own uh, wagon is. Heading out there, uh, you find uh, the dozen or so Grimalkins that chose to stay with him, packing up uh, a number of boxes and putting them into a camper van. It doesn't appear to be in any way uh, fey, just a camper van. Moggins himself is supervising. He's uh, looking better than you've seen him recently, but is still very much not doing well. He's looking paler than normal and is supervising from a lawn chair with a blanket over his legs.
Suppose this would be your introduction, Kenzie. After all, it's your mentor.
Looks like we timed this perfectly.
Moggins hears and turns around, smiling as broadly as he can. Oh, you lads and lass, how are you all doing?
Good. We've been good.
Thank you for coming to see an old man, and this looks to be the last time.
I
Uh, Go on.
It does sound like it. Um, we just wanted to make sure to say hi and thank you for everything all along the way, from being a welcoming presence when we arrived to, well, training up Kenzie in the old ways.
Well, I'm glad that I was able to help you all. And how are the Grimalkins treating you, Kenzie?
Really well, actually. We've, due to circumstances, we've started them all in war training. So they're getting pretty good with firearms.
Screamer has kept me in the loop a bit. It seems things are difficult down at the Lost Vegas Freehold.
Just don't want them to get hurt if something goes wrong. Never hurts to be able to defend yourself.
Something about this title brought out a more cat-like quality in my nature, and things have gotten interesting lately.
Well, I'm glad that that it's done you done you, that the title's done you some good. But for my part, I'm looking forward to a nice long rest.
You deserve it.
So, where are you thinking of retiring out to?
I was thinking of heading up somewhere further north, maybe California, Oregon, somewhere I could live out the last few years uh, in the countryside with relatively little risk of the gentry a knocking.
Sounds like a good idea. Um, on that note, I did have a thing I wanted to give you. Um, some are mundane utility, others just for my own peace of mind. The first is a large, Visa, essentially prepaid debit card with a decent chunk of money on it. Just pulled out some cash for any mundane problems you have. Um, and if you run into some other ones, here's a little mirror that's just big enough for Kit to fit through that I had him touch with his thumb before we got here. If you give us a call and something's going wrong, we can be there pretty quick. We owe you favors, and we're never going to be able to pay them all back.
Well, lad, you shouldn't have. I'll be happy to take anything you're offering, uh, but uh, you don't. It's not. Yeah, I do want to make it clear that you fellas don't owe me anything.
I'd like to argue that the entirety of Las Vegas owes you a lot.
Speaking of which, we've got a couple of Grimalkins who will be arriving throughout the night when their shifts are over, saying hello and bringing food and stuff for the journey, whatever supplies you need.
And we've asked if any of them would like to go with you, and you have a small list of volunteers.
Are you going to be going over the iron side or over this side? Do you know?
We're gonna head back to the mortal world, uh, and travel mostly through there. Since we're gonna be leaving the freehold, I want to be as far away from where the gentry might be looking as possible.
Makes sense. But if you ever run into problems, mundane or otherwise, let us know. You deserve to live out the rest of your years in happiness and without too much difficulty. And if that means I need to wire you a few $1,000,000, or we need to figure out whatever currency they accept in the local goblin market wherever you end up, we'll make it happen.
He smiles and says, "Well, thank you, lads. Uh, it does an old man's heart good to see that he's gonna be remembered."
One last thing before we head out.
Oh,
I know it always puts me at ease to have someone looking after me. And I'm gonna send someone along with you that I think will help you out quite a bit. I whistle for my hawk.
oh, are you sure that you want to do this, lad?
Yes. we will all feel better knowing that he's watching over you, and he's as loyal as can be.
So out of character, you're going to be using the Sanctity of Merits on this, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Alrighty, I'll definitely allow that. Morgan smiles and gives the bird a scratch under the chin. Well, if you insist. Thank you kindly, lad.
Anyways. Half my impulses are to sit here helping you pack or do whatever I can, but I think I'd just get in the way at this point. And I think if I stay much longer, I'm going to just be breaking out in big, disgusting tears. So, thank you for everything, Moggins.
Moggins wipes his eye and says, well, thank you, lads and lass, for remembering me. I appreciate you coming to say goodbye.
Elliot, incredibly bad at emotions and also goodbyes, gives Moggins a tight hug and turns for the exit, not able to wait for the others to follow him.
Kenzie bounces up into a hug. She doesn't seem deterred by this. After all, cats have 9 lives.
Kit starts with shaking his hand and then pulls him in for a hug.
The goodbyes having been exchanged, Moggins and his Grimalkins go through one last round of waves as they see you off on your way out of the tent in the Goblin Market.
Elliot, having finally gotten out of vision range, suddenly seems to have been either cutting onions or perhaps found a small freak rainstorm to be standing underneath.
All right. And I think this takes us to our last scene of the evening, so this might be a shorter session than most.
Sometimes the tying up scenes take longer or shorter than they need to.
Before we leave the market, can I ask to search for something?
Sure, what do you want to look for?
I would like something that will act as a... Basically, I want a goblin pill minder.
What?
For what?
For Will's pills to let me know that he's still taking them.
I
Right, something that will simply inform on him.
Yes.
Good luck selling that one.
If we're gonna spend a little bit extra time in the Goblin Market, while we're here, I'll see if I can hire some hobs to keep an eye on Moggins until he gets to the next freehold.
Or at least see him out to Ironside.
Yes, the magical snitch precisely called it.
Alrighty. Let's see. Give me a roll then to see if you can find what you're looking for.
Would you accept wits plus streetwise?
That makes sense to me. Sure.
Four successes.
Alrighty. 4 successes is definitely enough to be a success. Ah. While the group is looking through the goblin market, Kenzie happens upon something that looks like it would do the job. There is a small green goblin with large ears offering its services as a spy. And you get close enough, you can hear him giving out his pitch. Look at these ears. I catch everything I does, and I can catch everything for you and tell you everything I hear. I can, and I will do it for the rate of just 1 chip a day.
Sold.
The little goblin hops up and down in delight. So's we've got a taker, so's we does. Alrighty. I need some paying up front if you're serious.
Has 30 days to start with.
Sounds good to me. It does. So, tell me, who do you want me to spy on?
The King of the Winter Court.
Oh, you are ambitious, you is. You looking for anything special I should keep an ear out for? Weaknesses, things like that?
Nope. Actually, I'm looking to make sure that he takes his pills every day.
The goblin gives you the strangest look that you've ever seen. He narrows his eyes and looks up at you in nigh on disbelief.
And also talks to his therapist.
Yeah, that too.
So's these pills aren't poisoned or anything then?
Nope.
Nope.
For just a little bit extra, I can poison them for you. I can.
We're actually trying to keep them free of poison.
You're doing counterintelligence.
Well, yous are the ones paying. You are.
We are.
I just doesn't seize the point if you's not trying to kill him.
We need him to be safe, healthy, and stable to keep us safe.
The goblin throws its little arms up in the air and says, "Looks like there's a first time for everything. There is.
There is.
Yous are the ones paying, and you're paying for a month up front, so Eyes will do it. He wills not seize me even a bit."
What's your name?
What can we call you, rather?
The goblin perks up a little bit at this and says, "Well, you can call me Aurea. You can.
Thank you, Aurea.
Aurea takes the chips and counts them out very carefully in front of you, making sure to give each one a little bite just to make sure of its authenticity. And after finally accepting that this seems to actually be what you want done and that the currency is all in fact real, he takes it and trots off.
Well, at least we got that sorted.
Excellent.
I think that's going to be the funniest conversation we're ever going to have if that one ever gets found out. But he
Okay,
didn't
you
see
said you
the...
wanted
Hmm?
you said you wanted to find something too?
Yeah, I want to see if I can get some hubs to keep an eye on Moggins, and if he gets into trouble,
until
kind
he
of help
gets
him out.
Ironside.
If they can assist him, if they could stay with him Ironside, even better. But I'm not counting on it.
I don't think we should have them follow him Ironside. He needs to lose any Fey trail once he gets there. Otherwise, he might get the wrong kind of attention. But we can make sure that he gets safely out to Ironside with all his friends.
You know what we could do?
Hmm.
We could probably send a note through the goblin mail to the next freehold, letting them know
I
to
don't
be
think
on the lookout.
don't think there's a freehold up there. I think that's why he's going that way.
Oh, that makes sense.
Well, since he's going to be mostly doing being Ironside, what I'll do instead is see if I can find a bit of um, a a a bit of good traffic to send to him, or something like that.
Let's find some luck. Let's find some good luck. I'm sure
Yeah.
they've got it around here. Bought some of it before.
Mhm.
Who's your luck dealer?
All right. So luck isn't too hard to come by in the goblin market. Uh, a handful of minutes later, you found yourselves in possession of a few vials of liquid luck.
Well, we'll send it with the next group of cats to go over. Um, though you did give me a good idea, if we've got an extra minute here.
Okay.
We're gonna have a big Fey threat going on, but the gentry aren't any more in control of this area than we are. They're
Yeah.
just strong individually.
Hmm?
Why don't we pick up some extra muscle? I'm sure there's some selling around here.
So what are
You
you looking
talking?
for in particular?
Big scary hops. Anything that looks extremely dangerous that's willing to sell that dangerous for money. So we could call on them later.
All right.
Thank you, Void. Also, thank you for the cheers. Team
Yes, thank you
Motley.
very much.
Aw, Team Motley, I like that.
Yeah.
So give me a roll of some sort to for what you're looking for.
Um, would you take a presence plus socialize to find the right sort of people?
Makes
Uh,
sense to me. Yes.
I was gonna say I could do wits plus investigation, uh, plus do I have market sense? Yeah, plus market sense.
You'd probably get a better result than I would.
Sure, I'll allow that.
I think some muscle would be a good idea to have on tap for the upcoming thing, and since we've got a couple extra minutes in the goblin market, let's get some scary hops.
Do you want assistance?
Yeah.
This is far from mundane, so I'm not going to be particularly useful here.
3 additional from me.
Cool. Okay, I don't think this counts as mundane, so I can't add that. 8 successes.
All right. And Are you making the final roll, Elliot, or was Kit the final roll?
I think Kit's the final roll. He's better at finding things than I am, and he also is the only one here with market sense. I'm here with the normal people money. I have the resources for.
All right. The Motley goes looking for anyone who might be willing to lend a hand, and Kit espies a group of ogres uh, offering their services from a small market stall.
I walk up. All right, how many of you are there?
4.
4 of you. Okay, let's go. And and I started walking off.
All right, and where exactly did you want the ogres to help you again?
We're going to have them hang out at the ranch for now, pay them on standby, and then we're going to call them in when things get dramatic.
Yep.
All right.
We want a retainer, essentially.
And what's
So
your Fey resources amount?
5. Basically what I'm gonna do is once they start following me, start just dictating the terms of employment. Just
You just assume that you've got it covered. Obviously, you've got the money.
All right. Well, the price is put down. They want 100 chips a day. That is well within your means.
Yep. Yep.
This having been explained, the ogres agree to your plan and head to the ranch to wait.
The other basically their job is going to be to sit and wait for us to call for them and assist with any literal heavy lifting that needs to be done around the ranch.
All right.
Well, I think that's enough stalling. Shall we go hit the court?
Yeah.
All right. I'll be right back. Bear with me just a moment.
So we'll have a quick sum up session for everybody who's following and make sure we're all on board. Okay. So just a moment, I need to adjust that real quick. Fuck.
Is everything all right?
Yep, Kenny dropped off the Zoom call, so your face is divided. Just a moment.
Yeah. Here.
Okay.
All right. So what we're about to come up with is going to be really what we really what we find next is going to be what dictates what we're going to be doing for the foreseeable, as far as I can tell. I have no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I have cats.
You do. So, as far as it goes, we are currently setting up for dealing with basically the a final confrontation with the Lord of Tales. We've got a document that should give us an idea of his weaknesses. We've got a lot of resources. I'll be going up to resources 5 at the end of the next set of downtimes.
Mm-hmm.
And you've already had Fey resources 5. We've got a lot of connections. We've built up a lot of power. And of course, we have a lot of fun contract skills and your shiny new rifle.
Yeah.
By our powers combined, hopefully we will be in a position to take him down.
Where?
So yeah, I think we've got most of our stuff lined up.
What are you guys thinking in chat? Are there any plot threads that you'd like to see that we've missed summing up or tying up?
Any questions y'all had about things that have gone on? Because God knows we have the time right now. All right. Let's see. There we are.
Sorry about that. Looks like Zoom was having some issues.
Well, looks like we got that sorted. Okay.
All right. So you are ready to go hear about the contract?
Yep, we're gonna go
Yes.
bother people at court. And probably deal with the political misbehaving.
So, heading back to the freehold, you see that none of the monarchs are on the dais, and looking around, none of the nobles are to be seen. Some of the Grimalkins stop you when you head in, and at a quick exchanging of meows with the Grimalkin, states that you have been asked to come into one of the back rooms where the nobles and royals are meeting.
Checks out.
Alrighty.
I head on in.
Yep.
You as in just Elliot, or you as in all of us?
All of you.
Okay.
I'm bringing a tray of drinks just because I know who's going to be in there, and I have been mixing drinks for these people for months now. Several seasons. I probably know every favorite drink of every person who's going to be in that room. God bless Brownie's boon. I'll spend the glamour for it.
I'll head in.
Kenzie, I would like it to note, is still in her black tactical gear with all of her pockets,
Of course you are.
with a rat sticking out of one of them.
Of course.
You've got to be ready for anything. You never know when you'll need to deploy a tactical rat.
I mean, we already had to several times tonight, so clearly.
When the four of you arrive at the room, there is a conference table around which the nobles and the monarchs of all the courts but Autumn have gathered. Agatha is standing at the head of the table where she can address the crowd with the 4 Autumn nobles. The contract is unfurled and in Agatha's hand. It is quite long. It drags on the floor. It looks to be about 4 feet long.
I I wander around glad-handing and handing out drinks, getting a read of the room while I'm listening to Agatha talk.
The room is tense, hopeful but scared. As the group enters, Agatha nods and says, "Well, if it isn't the heroes of the hour, I see that the three of you have finally deigned to show up."
I do apologize. I had someone we needed to see off.
Agatha's expression softens almost immediately upon figuring out what you must have been doing. "Oh, quite all right then." She motions for the three of you to sit down and looks around the room from monarch to monarch, noble to noble, and finally to the motley. "Well, as I was mentioning, these are the three who brought this back. This," she states, tossing the contract onto the to a conference table, "is nothing less than confirmation of decades of rumors. I've been told multiple times over the years that not only are the gentry creatures of uh, pledges and agreements, but they are formed from them. And this contract proves it. For it is a contract in both senses of the word, legal and weird."
Huh. So, does it give us an idea of what to do about him?
It has quite a lot of information. And like any other contract, it does have its loopholes. She starts going over the contract. She starts reading from it. "The party of the first part, hereunto defined by the title Lord of Tales, makes this agreement with the party of the second part, hereafter mentioned as the Weird, whereupon the Lord of Tales will gain the right to exist, to be free and independent from the Weird. In order to receive this boon, there are a number of preconditions upon which both parties will need to agree." And from there, it gets long and legal. Going over the contract, there is quite a bit of information that the group is able to ascertain. For one, the condition upon which the Lord of Tales has agreed. He has gained his status as Master of the Grand Library on the condition that he expands its collection of knowledge continually, and that for any knowledge that the library loses, he swore to replace it sevenfold. In order to maintain his post, he has agreed to the Weird that he will rededicate himself at the dawn of the new year by enshrining a new story in the Grand Library, never heard before by anyone, fey or mortal. The contract also stipulates a number of clauses Uh, you recognize these perhaps as things that might be useful. One of the stipulations is that you, the Lord of Tales, are a story written upon the world. To dilute the ink with which you are written is anathema, as that destroys it. Another states, to obscure your words is to obscure yourself before the weird, Lord of Tales. May your pages ever stay bright. A third clause enumerates, ever may you continue writing yourself, O Lord of Tales, that you may contain all stories. You must not stop a story to be committed into yourself, as dreadful as that story may be. And the last clause that you go over, O Lord of Tales, you are the library and its master, and a library exists to preserve. Any story you may find, you must keep at least one copy. To be without a copy of a story that you once owned is anathema. After the contract is fully read out, Agatha rolls it back up and places it on the table. There you have them, the conditions upon which the Lord of Tales agreed, but upon the weird and upon his own name, for his very right to exist.
Well, that makes this pretty interesting. I take a book out of my bag and set it on the table. You see, we didn't just pull that contract out of the Dread stacks. I thought it might be interesting to grab one of the books that was there, since it seemed to be that this was a place he was keeping other things from his library. It's nothing special, but it might be to him. I had chosen deliberately not to grab a book that was an icon once. I don't like carrying them around even if they're for dead people.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got basically a fiction book set down on the table. If this was supposed to be kept in his archives and he doesn't have a copy anymore, this might be something he would need to reclaim. Likewise, I can see some options for us causing damage that he would have to spend significant efforts undoing. But what do you guys think? You all have had more time to look over these words than I have, and I admit the mystical mumbo-jumbo is not my particular expertise.
All right. First, we need to determine how important this book is going to be. So somebody, whoever's feeling lucky, make me a chance die roll, please.
Not
Okay.
me.
Do you want to do it, Lex?
Kinda, is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
I have tried so many times tonight. It's not happening.
Can
right.
can I spend a glamour to make it to give them an extra dice?
No.
Okay.
I rolled a 5.
Do you want to spend a willpower?
Yes.
All right. I'll let you re-roll it this once.
Got it. I don't want to look at it. Hey!
1 success.
All right.
Prying loose.
Elliot hadn't really looked for the books in question. He had simply taken one. Upon further examination, this book is wrapped in silk. unwrapping it. Carefully. The group, the motley, the royals, Agatha, lean in to see what this is. The book is evidently quite old. It's a thin leather-bound volume that has a familiar comedy mask and tragedy mask on it. The title reads Mr. William Shakespeare's Comedies, Histories, and Tragedies, published according to the true original copies. Inscribed in gold on it, first folio, initial printing, 1593.
Oh. So even if this wasn't, like, magically important, this is an incredibly rare and valuable book. Elliot is not perhaps the most well-read person on the planet with his 0 dots in academics and low intelligence, but even he knows Willie Shakespeare's name, and he very delicately passes it in Agatha's direction.
Looking over it, King Will politely coughs. If that is actually a first folio, one of those sold at auction a couple decades back for over $5 million.
I get the feeling he's going to be very upset that this is missing, and I do like the fact that I keep taking things that upset him to not have them.
I have a very funny idea.
Leo scratches his chin and says, if I recall correctly from what you were reading, Agatha, it sounds like he has to keep at least one copy of any book he comes across.
It's going to be real hard to find another one of these, huh?
Kit, what was your idea?
Before I voice this, is there how much limitation is there that we know of regarding the movement of the Fae?
How much what is there?
Limitations on the movement of the Fae. Like, can the Lord of Tales just fuck off and go to Paris? Is the kind of question I'm asking.
Agatha looks at you and says, well, true Fae have been known to spend time in the mortal world, but they don't tend to spend long here at any given time. Of course, that we know of. They can appear in a variety of forms, not simply humanoid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think what he's talking about more is going to is traveling to another set of space within the Hedge or Arcadia, such that he would be essentially the local lord for somewhere else.
Basically, what I'm trying to get at is it a good idea to send this book, the one that he has to get back, to, say, Japan?
To make him leave
Make him
and
get it.
Because we could put this on on a perfectly mundane courier's hands and get them going on a flight by tomorrow night, if you thought it was a good idea.
Well, there is an idea, but from what we've read, it doesn't seem like he would have to necessarily do it personally.
He'd just have to send things after it, and we'd be under more risk traveling than he would, and if we sent it with a mundane person, they would have literally no ability to protect themselves. It'd just be killing a person. Or handing it back to him through a slightly obtuse method.
Okay.
So what that means
second
is...
idea. Second idea. Um, let's do some insurance fraud.
Insurance fraud?
Insurance fraud. Get this thing insured, then destroy it.
I think
You
I
can't
would have
replace
to
it.
explain where I got it from for the insurance people, and I'm gonna be real with you. A secret library in the hedge is going to be a very, very hard thing to explain to an insurance agent.
Well, I mean, the insurance fraud is that would just be a additional benefit of doing this. We don't have to do that part of it, but the destroying it part.
Okay.
Just
So, honestly, I think that I've got an idea with that same thing in mind. We threaten him with it. Kenzie, I'm not much the book burning type, but would you be interested in holding a lighter under this and watching a very, very powerful man squirm?
Yeah.
Because
and of course we'll do this very far away from the freehold.
absolutely. But we're already going to have to confront him at some point. We might as well have some toys to work with. Does that make sense, Agatha, or do you have a better idea? I admit, I don't know what I'm doing. I've been trying to get tools and effects that will help us, but I'm a little out of my league here. I've been out for less than a year now.
Well, this does give us some options. I think it's time to sit down and have a long discussion.
Yeah.
So,
I'll go get some more drinks.
all right, and I think that's a good place to end it. I thought, as I was mentioning, I think tonight was a bit of a short session, but a necessary one. Let's go around the table and do our aspirations. Who wants to go first?
I will.
All right.
Okay, so I believe we stepped and cleared, trained the cats in modern warfare.
Mm-hmm.
Animal kennuff. I did my animal kenning, and it was more than enough to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we have irritated the Lord of Tales, even if he doesn't know it yet.
Oh, yes.
I definitely Pied Pipered it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that with the introduction of the rat that was in the trash can, I definitely saved someone in need.
Yes.
All right. Say goodbye. We did.
Mm-hmm.
We very much did. Rat-a-UE. I inflicted a swarm of rats on an unsuspecting bar, and I suspect I'm going to be able to make a couple of phone calls tomorrow morning and have some very receptive new clients. Noblesse oblige. I'm representing finally putting all this power and influence towards equipping us for war. I think I definitely did that because we have bought a bunch of ogre muscle to call in during the inevitable confrontation. Maybe they won't be a lot, but I'm going to stack up chips until something works.
Fair enough.
Close the book. We now have several leads on how to harm this man. I think we could probably solidly mark that one and achieve the old dream. Unless you're going to fight me on opening my bar on my first day action, I think we can step and clear that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So, find a warm place in winter. Definitely got a warm reaction out of Will when he saw the book.
Mm-hmm.
Dredge the dread between getting more information about what we found in the dread archives, as well as inducing the disgust and stuff like that. I would say be towards that, and then pulling myself together. I I'm starting. I learn. I'm learning. Yeah. I'm using the resources that I have accumulated to full effect at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to clear that one?
Yeah, I think I'm going to clear that one.
Makes sense to me.
Alrighty. And yeah, that's me.
All right. Well, I want to thank everyone again for showing up. Just a quick reminder, Onyx Path game night is at the last Friday of the month. That means this month it'll be the 29th. If you're interested, there's more information on the Discord. And there's a link to that in chat. Well, thank you again for coming out tonight. We're always happy to see you folks. I hope that you had as much fun as we did, and I hope everyone has a good night.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
See you next week.